What's up, everybody? Pete Pardo here from Sea of Tranquility. Welcome to day 24 of our favorite comeback albums of all time. We're going back in music history and picking out those albums that were some of the greatest comebacks ever for bands that were away for a long time, broke up, got back together, knocked it out of the park on their first album back together, maybe came back from a critical and commercial disappointment of an album, and on their next one knocked it out of the park. Maybe they lost a key member, replaced them with someone new, didn't miss a step. Maybe a death in the family, death in the band, right? They replaced them with someone else, and amidst all the tragedy, they came back and, yeah, all was good once again, right? Could be all sorts of reasons for great comebacks. We're picking them out all month here in April. 30 days in the month, 30 of our favorite comeback albums of all time. Today, this is a spectacular comeback from a band. It's their third studio album, their first album in 9 years. They basically broke up or went inactive at the height of their kind of popularity because the singer wanted to go and put together a solo band. Hey, why not, right? This was released in June 1993, recorded at Dallas Sound Lab Studios in Dallas, Texas, produced by the band, along with Brian Slagle for Metal Blade Records, talking about Merciful Fate's In the Shadows. Yes. I remember how stoked so many of us were to get Merciful Fate back together again. Not that we minded the King Diamond Band at all. On the contrary, we totally dug that. But it's almost like after Melissa and Don't Break the Oath, right? All this momentum, the first two albums of Merciful Fate, to just have it like the rug pulled up from underneath and say, okay, King's going to go solo. We'll see you guys later on. Later on turned out to be almost a decade, right? They got back together and did some touring in 92, and then in 93 we get this fantastic album. Of course, the classic lineup of the band: King Diamond on vocals, the dual guitar attack of Hank Sherman and Michael Denner on guitars, Timmy Hansen on bass. This would be the last album from him with the band, as well as well, it's not quite the classic line of the band because we don't have the original drummer, but we do have Morten Nielsen playing drums on this particular record. So yeah, and of course, like I said, the band basically worked on the production along with Mr. Slagle. So what do we have on here? It's funny because this is such a fantastic album that it's almost like unfair. Like I know, like when we did a ranking the album show, Merciful Fate, it's almost unfair to have to rank this catalog because you have those early two behemoths that so many of us of a certain age group grew up with. That it's almost like you can't have those two as one or two in the catalog. It's not fair to the rest of these albums because the whole rest of the catalog is absolutely sensational. Any of them could be a number one in the catalog or number two in the catalog. And there have been times I listen to some of these and I'm like, oh, do you imagine if I didn't hear the first two back when they first came out and I jumped on board around this time? I mean, this could be my favorite album. The next album could be my favorite. Any of the ones from the 90s are absolutely terrific albums and classic albums. Not a dud in this catalog. Anyway, on this album, they move away from the kind of like satanic and occult themes of the first two records. And they go with more of kind of like what King was doing in his solo career. These kind of like horror themes, horror film themes and whatnot. King's a big fan of all that kind of stuff. So here you got opening track. God, there's so many good songs on here. Egypt, which is just classic. You've got the dual guitar attack of Hank and Michael on this album. These two guys are probably the most underrated guitar team in all of heavy metal history. Maybe in all of music history. I mean, these guys are terrific together. It's nothing like it. The Bell Witch, awesome. The Old Oak, awesome. That's the big epic on the album. Shadows, great song. A Gruesome Time, 13 Invitations. You got the little instrumental written by Mr. Michael Denner featuring his awesome kind of like Michael Schenker-ish guitar tones called Room of Golden Air. Then you got Legend of the Headless Rider, and then Is That You, Melissa, right? Kind of sequel to the very, very first album. And if you get the CD, they got the bonus track Return of the Vampire, redone in 1993 with none other than Lars Ulrich on drums, right? Sure, why not? Let's take an old song, let's bring in an old friend, and boom. Anyway, love the production of this album. Man, the riffs and the solos are terrific. King sounds great. This is just a great, great metal album. Such a return to form. Not even a return to form, because it's just a return in general, right? And it's like, what's really cool too about like the Merciful Fate stuff and the King Diamond stuff, they're just different enough. Even though you got that same voice spearheaded and all, the music is different. So you can instantly tell what's a Merciful Fate track and what's a King Diamond track. And this, for me, this slots in right behind those first two albums as far as like classic Merciful Fate. This is just so good. And the riffs are highly just weaving and technical and progressive. I mean, this is some, forward-thinking, perfectly constructed heavy metal for me. So, yeah, dynamite album. I don't believe we have any kind of charting or certification. Now, of course, something like this, it's this is not going to appear at the top of the charts, but those who know how good it is. So anyway, that's my pick for today. In the Shadows by Merciful Fate. Do I got a picture of the band? I don't remember if there's a picture of the band on the inside. I always kind of like we can show them. It'd be great. Wow, we have some. All right, here's King. Here's Mr. Hank Sherman. Here's Mr. Denner. Here's Timmy. And it lists, so it's funny how it's got Snowy Shaw on the in the booklet, but I don't believe Snowy played on this at all, to my recollection. But he did tour with them. He was their touring guy going forward. I believe he shows them on the next album. So, yeah, there you have it. In the Shadows. Let us know what you think of this, as well as your pick for today, day number 24, and we'll see you tomorrow for number 25, as we're almost close to winding up the month. Visit us on the web at www.seatranquility.org. We're on Facebook, we're on YouTube, all together, all the damn time. Please subscribe if you haven't already, and click on that notification bell so you get alert of all of our content as a post. And please do hit the like button before you leave. Also, down below, we get the links to our Ko-Fi page, our channel donations, our merch page, and our Cameo page. Thank you all for those who do contribute. Thank you so much. It's greatly appreciated. We'll see you soon here. It's Wednesday. That means it's What's Hot with Sea of Tranquility Day. New album review day. Tune in. Got a whole bunch of them coming up for you today, so don't miss them. Till then, I'm Pete Pardo. Have a good one. Bye-bye.